What's up, my friends? How are you guys doing today? I hope everybody's doing good. I hope you're looking good, feeling good, loving yourself, and loving the ones you're with, because that's what it's about, baby. Today, we are talking about a movie from 1968, directed by Mr. Peter Bogdanovich. This is called Targets. But before we acquire our target, hit that like and subscribe button for me. This has got Mr. Boris Karloff in what I think is the performance of a lifetime. Now, given I haven't seen a ton of Karloff's stuff. I know he's the voice of the Grinch. I know he's Frankenstein. And I've seen him in a few things with Bela Lugosi and Vincent Price and stuff, right? So I know his horror work, but I have never seen him, I don't guess I've ever seen him in a dramatic role. And this is, in my opinion, his magnum opus, his best role he's ever done. This also stars Tim O'Kelly. Now, Tim O'Kelly, I guess he was kind of a thing back in the day. You probably don't know who he is nowadays. Maybe you do. I didn't know who he was until this movie, so there we go. But, man, Peter Bogdanovich, he really knows how to capture a poignant story. But before we get into his directing style, let's talk about what the story is. This story, I feel, is more prominent and more powerful and more poignant today than it was when it was made, given our socio-economic, political, whatever climate in the world that we are heading towards, that we are in right now, whatever it may be. This feels like this is like on the money, on the nose. This is a story about a young Vietnam veteran and an old horror movie actor. You're thinking to yourself, how in the world do those two cross paths? Well, our young Vietnam veteran, he is not he's not all there. He's not there. He's not right. He comes back, PTSD, like a lot of our soldiers do. He doesn't have a whole lot of help. He talks to people. They take him to the shooting range, just all these different kinds of things, but he doesn't get help he needs. And he basically pulls I don't remember what it was, the guy who was a sniper on the freeway back in the day. He pulls one of those. He buys a bunch of guns, pistols, and stuff like that, and he goes on a shooting spree, but he's very methodical about it. And during this time that he's doing that, he's in, the Hollywood area, and Boris Karloff's character is an aging, trying to get out of the business horror movie actor. Go figure, right? And their paths cross, and that's how Peter Bogdanovich really kind of tells this story. And I really liked the way he told it, from his cinematography choices to his dynamic scenes and things like that. He really he brings you into this and makes you feel it, and I love that, because we watch this guy pretty much slip into madness while we watch Boris Karloff, we watch his career kind of wind down, and their paths cross because it just so happens that this shooter decides, oh, there's a big premiere, there's going to be a lot of people at this film, and so where better to do your deed, right? So that's pretty much our story. And it's an intense story at that, the way that it's brought to life. But Boris Karloff, his cynical, over my prime, I'm over the hill, past my prime. Sorry, I couldn't get that out. But yeah, he does that, and he plays it so well, because he's like, I just don't feel like, doing what I'm doing anymore. He's got this one kid who's a writer-director. He's like, I wrote something specifically for you. It'll show you not as a horror film icon, but as an actor, which I thought was pretty dadgum, important to the film, because that's exactly what the film does for Boris Karloff. That's what this film does for him. His director, writer friend says, man, look, I know you've been doing this stuff for so long. The horror movies, that's all people associate you with. I know you want to get out, but I've got this picture that I want you to do, and it will make people see you as an actual thespian, as an actor, as someone who isn't just in this niche. And I thought that that was awesome way of, bringing the story forth and kind of tying it together too. It's very similar to what we're seeing on screen. And I loved the way that this whole thing was told from the, we have scenes where he's on like a tank, where he's shooting people on the freeway. And I was just like, oh my goodness, did that dude back, whenever it was, him and that kid were shooting people at gas stations on the freeway, did he watch this movie? Did it, things like that go through your mind when you're watching stuff like this, especially when it's almost a prophetic type film and it displays things that have happened, will happen, could happen kind of thing. It's just a fantastic film. It really is. And the whole reason I watched it is because a friend of mine in one of my groups named Bryn, he posted that he was watching it one Friday night or one weekend, something like that. And I saw what the description of the film was. And I thought, man, that sounds really interesting. And I am so glad that I watched it. I want to own a physical copy because it is one of those films that going forward, if you haven't seen it yet, you need to. Because it is, to me, it's a prophetic film. It's a very powerful film, something that is like, it speaks volumes about today's society and how it almost kind of all started back then with the way that people were treated and the war veterans and stuff like that. So it's a powerful movie, guys. It really is. I highly recommend you check it out. I did not find it streaming. I took a coin hit and spent some money to rent it because I didn't know if I wanted to buy it or not. I kind of wish I had just bought it now, but I rented it on Prime Video, so you can check it out there if you want to. I highly recommend you do, guys. It will be worth your time and your money. And that's it, my friends. Thank you so much for hanging out and talking with me about Targets for a little while. Hit that like and subscribe button on the way out. And as always, I am going to keep making them as long as you keep watching them. Peace out. God bless you, and I will see you soon.